guys, Dwashya. Today we are going to talk about a very interesting topic, thoughts. So, what do you think thoughts are? What are these thoughts? Why are they so important? Do they affect us? If yes, why do they affect us? Why? Why even think about it? Oof. There are so many questions related to a single word. That's a lot. Well, there should be, isn't it? After all, there are lectures, seminars, and even careers based on this word. So, let us just, break this pile of questions into segments. So, first, what are these things that are termed as thoughts? No, really. This should be the first question, I guess. So, let's go down a couple of stairs. Firstly, at global level, we have the business tycoons like Tesla, Amazon, Flipkart, and others I may not know to decide our economic spending. Now, there, the spending is the hard-earned money of ours and of our parents, of course. Then we have the majestic international communities like the United Nations, G7, etc. to decide our movement and work life. Coming down a little bit, we have our country disputes. That is mostly a term I use for a continent and having countries based on that continent. Now this step has a very nasty build. Now nasty here is that there is some bricks are offensive bricks and some are casual bricks. So it is kind of a nasty build. So we have a military power run and border control race among the countries and the communities. Isn't it? Well, we will not go deep as we are not discussing about this, right? So let's go a step down again. This time we have national thoughts. Now these thoughts are the most fluctuating and mood-based thoughts. Like at one point we are supporting a leader of our nation and the very next instinct we are against the same person due to some other issues. So I can compare it like a water in a circular bowl which is kept on a tip of a pole. So let's go yet another step down. Here our thoughts are affected by the society we live in, the family we are brought up, in the company to which we belong to, and our loved ones. Now this creates the way you have to showcase yourself to the world to keep the dignity and maintain the personality of a person who belongs to that community. Yet, we can go another step down. This step is the most important and emotionally important step. This is our personal space. Here, we are our own source of information, judgment, and thought. Here, we mix our thinking with the world around us and make our own thoughts. So, after coming down this step and look behind us, we find that how many things or people are affecting our thoughts. Hence, thoughts are those things which we think of based on our experience, visual and audio information. Now let's talk about what are these thoughts. Thoughts are considered to be a form of dream or an idea. A dream is considered to be a virtual reality that is formed by our mind based on experience. So are thoughts also a form of virtual reality? Give it a thought. Now some say yes, as they are just ideas which we think of when observing our surroundings and people. Some say no, as these can be implanted by medical process in one's mind. But my thoughts on this topic would be like, yes, some are implanted, but a person's thoughts are majorly affected by his or her experience and surroundings. It is a form of magical or say a logical world created by us in order to maintain our peace. These contain moments we cherish, moments we fear, people we love, and principles we want to follow. These thoughts are those kind of fuel which a person requires to go on in his or her own life. Similar to a car which requires a fuel to run on road. These form our basis of living, treating others and our principles. They decide likes, dislikes and taste. So overall, thoughts are those moments or sequence of moments that reflect our inner self to ourselves and makes us to bring it out in the real world so that we can live it while we can see it and feel the change or the world we thought about. So now, let's talk about why are they so important. Well, we now know that what thoughts are and what decides our thoughts. But now we want to know why are they so important. Well, as said earlier, thoughts are a form of fuel that helps a person to move on in his or her life and pass his or her own conditions. Hence, if we think about it, like fuel requires some raw materials to become a useful thing. Similarly, thoughts require raw materials. So, if we see the factors affecting us as a huge piece of cake, we can understand why are they so important. After eating this cake, we form ourselves to fit, work, and thrive in this world. We create our principles, our rules, our behavior, our schedule, our work, and our belief based on this. So, if we see from far away, there is a pool of things below the single word, thoughts. So, at the end, we get a very clear and in-deep ideas about why are they important and how are they made in us. So let's see whether they affect us or not. Of course, they affect us heavily. Now, if yes, then why do they affect us? Well, that's a long and tricky question. We know that thoughts are based on our experience and surroundings, but the way we interpret it decides the way it affects us. The way we see our surroundings, the way we are treated, and the way our responses get responded decides many things. For example, your kindness will definitely come around to you from the same person or maybe in some other ways. We all know these things. But doesn't it sound true? Sometimes your interpretation causes issue. You have a mental picture of a person which you form based on your view, liking, talks and meets. Sometimes it breaks you and affects you very differently, and sometimes it doesn't. The surroundings also create a picture within your mind. If there are changes, we do get affected. Like, you like to sit someplace and with some of your friends. Now, here either the place is not available or the friends with whom you want to sit which doesn't want to be with you any longer. This creates a huge impact on our thoughts and affects us for a long time. We are unable to cope up with the truth and end up being unstable, depressed, or unhappy. So this way, the event affected us negatively. Now what if we just don't care about any event? We just enjoy them without affecting anyone and just leave it there itself. Well, you have a completely free mind. You have various methods through which you can maintain and check your thoughts and how do they affect you. Best of them is meditation. Other is music. My favorite is music, as it just calms and cools me down. But it varies, as everyone has got his or her own unique experience. Now, as we know why do they affect us, can we just talk in general terms? Well, we have talked about the technical, philosophical and emotional content about thoughts. So let's see what can we think about this word in general terms, or you can say lame language. Well, generally, thoughts are some compelling moments which can vary with every second or say a minute. But if thoughts are so fluctuable, then are they so relevant? Well, yeah, are. If we think about it, they can change within seconds, but they show your inner self or the altered and affected self. Here, it is a very interesting thing that while thinking we get lost in our own thoughts that sometimes we don't even recall what is actually going on. Every second of our life creates a temporary and a permanent thought in our memory later. We either rejoice or regret or remorse about our temporary thoughts. Similarly, these thoughts are the ones which decide our goals, our path, our ideology and even our personality, also our day-to-day dealings with people, etc. Eventually, we just wake up with new thoughts, sleep with the accomplishment and future worries on which we have to work on. So generally, thoughts are the most essential or crucial part of our lives as they form the base of our life. Now, well, we have done a lot of work on understanding about this 8-letter word thoughts. But now the question that arises refers to why do we need to think about it? Why is it so important to know about it? Many people might say that we always read such things, hear about such things from everyone and overall understand about it very clearly. So what's new? What's there for us to take away from this? Well, we all know about it. That's great, right? But we still end up fighting and arguing about it with people, right? So what's the use of listening then? Well, if we see, we are just discussing about the word. This word has so much impact that everyone wants to attain and maintain their peace in their own mind. We know that every individual, including you and me, have a unique combination of thoughts, ideology and vision. These combinations are unique in their own way, as the elements of these combination have their own way of reacting and the time of their reaction affects the functioning of that element. Like for example, sometimes a person who is kind loses his kindness due to some situation in which his reaction is not recommendable. Now these small things create a lot of difference among people. Some people tune in and try to tune themselves in a single or same format. But then some people just try to force their thoughts on others. Now the last statement is quite a controversial. You see, we have different situations, different thoughts when we think about something. When we are low, many people try to manipulate or say change the way we think, do our work and the way we live. But that way we start losing ourselves and just start getting manipulated by our surroundings and lose our true personality for which we were once known for. But sometimes it also improves us. It makes us a better person. The point is not that. I want you to not follow your instincts. But the main thing is that with time everyone changes. As the person changes, his thoughts may remain same or they may change. Now this thing should be acceptable as everyone wants to stay happy and peacefully. I know it hurts a lot. I have seen people getting aloof in their own boxes. You can either reason out with the other person and convince him or her on why to either change themselves or not to do a particular thing. But it is equally important to update ourselves regarding the changes around us and try to fit our world in these changes as they are. This way, while you keep accepting changes, you modify or mature with time. Just remember that thoughts are something which every person forms on his or her life experience and his or her surroundings. You can either reason out with others regarding why your thoughts are better or just accept their thoughts after being satisfied with their reasoning. At the end, I just want to say that every one of us are different but not superior to another. So either you reason out or just accept the other person, but do not ever force anyone as it plants hatred or anger in that person against you. If you reason out, there are chances that you get a good friend in them. Well, here we are at the end of such an interesting topic. Let me know what are your thoughts by liking, sharing and commenting. Or why not you join me on my Instagram handle @thoughtinc. For spelling, it is spelled as TH_OUGHT_INK. Thanks for being a great listener and share it among your network. Don't forget to follow me on Spotify and Instagram. Also click the bell icon beside the follow button to keep yourself updated when a new episode comes along. So bye until the next episode. Stay tuned in to Thoughts.